Hey everybody, it's Builderan here from Punished Props, and I made something else from Destiny. Woo! Actually, hold on one second.
Hey, Will, check it out. Hey, what's up? Really?
Haha! Guy never saw it coming, and it never gets old. A while ago, I made a video on how I built this Destiny hand cannon, and you guys seem to like that an awful lot, so I put together the Hunter knife, and I'm about to show you exactly how I built it. In the description, you'll find free plans for this guy, as well as a list of all the materials that you'll need to put it together. The plans are 2 pages you can print out on a normal printer. You'll have to cut them in half and tape them together to make the whole thing. And then you use an X-Acto knife and cut it out. Then use some pins to attach your pattern to your 2mm craft foam. Using a pen, you can then trace it out so you'll know where to cut. Again, using that X-Acto knife, you can easily cut through that 2mm craft foam to get 2 of the outer shapes. Then sharpen a big utility knife and cut out a couple of strips of floor mat to make up the bulk of the mass. These floor mats have a texture on them that we'll have to remove. You could use, say, a Dremel to do that, or a belt sander, or in my case, I used my bandsaw. Using your favorite contact cement, glue the 2 strips of floor mat together. Then you can use the 3 holes on the knife pattern to poke some guide holes in the foam, and then jab a thing all the way through so that you can transfer it to the other side. For this, I used my drill press to make sure it was a nice 90-degree hole all the way through. Then I could trace the pattern on one side, flip it over, trace it on the other, and be pretty sure that they're gonna line up. Now I could take those 2mm craft foam shapes that I made earlier and contact cement them down to the surface of either side of my sandwich. For the big holes that go all the way through, I sharpened a bit of PVC pipe using my disc sander, and then used those to punch a hole all the way through. Again, if you have a drill press, you could grab a Forstner bit and drill all the way through as well. Some of the other details on here, like these circles, can be done again with a sharpened tube, or you can use your Dremel with a little sanding bit and just boop, poke it in there and get a nice circle. Now you're finally ready to cut out the entire shape of your knife. You can use your sharp utility knife to do this, or in my case, I like my scroll saw, so I use that. Then trace the edge of this big bevel along the edge of the blade there, and you can use your Dremel to bevel that whole piece down, or use something like a drum sander or a spindle sander. Then, using a grinding bit with your Dremel, you can go and soften all of the edges along the entire blade. Some of the other details can be carved in using an X-Acto knife, and then if you hit it with a heat gun, those gaps will widen a little bit, leaving a nice gouge behind. For the handle here, these are just strips of more of that 2mm craft foam. I just cut a couple of thin strips and then super glued them down, wrapping them all the way around the handle. And that's the last bit of fabrication. You are ready for paint. Start by spraying on some Plasti Dip to seal the whole thing in. On this guy, I used about, 5 layers of Plasti Dip to really protect it. Then, once that's dry, I use some Krylon spray metallic paint to put a base coat down on the entire thing. And once that dried, I used some black acrylic paint to paint the handle, and then some gray acrylic paint to paint on this sort of splattery thing that they got going on the end of the knife. When that was all dry, I hit it all with a matte clear spray paint to protect my paint job before weathering. Most of the weathering on this was done with brown and black acrylic paints. For the most part, I just brushed on a bunch of paint and then wiped most of it off, leaving a little bit of dirt and grime in the recesses. For the highlight edges, I just took some silver acrylic paint and brushed those on to highlight any areas that would have some wear and tear, and where some more of the metallic would show through. The last thing to do is to hit it with a little bit more of that clear matte spray paint to seal it all in, and voila, you're all done. There is your Destiny Hunter knife. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as the hand cannon video. You can check that video out here, along with a whole bunch of other build videos that I've got on my channel. We also do a live show every week where we take questions about prop and costume making. You can check out some of those right here. And remember, all the materials and the patterns are available in the description, so feel free to go grab those and try and build your own dagger. This was pretty quick, took me about, 4 hours to put the whole thing together. And if you do build a dagger, I want to see it, so hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks again, you guys. Get to building.